Some people are drinking less, but they're also drinking better. Like Richard just said, I was drinking my face off.
Yeah.
And a lot of people in the early 20s aren't doing that the same way, which is, I think is also good for me as an operator of nice places.
Right. Is luxury the place, to be right now? If you were like to do it all over again, where do you think the best opportunity is to like make money doing it?
Being authentic in some way or another and figure out like what is it that makes you tick?
Yeah.
And does that intersect with the opportunity curve? And I think that the authenticity is an absolutely essential ingredient.
When you see like a Sammy Hagar years ago, Cabo Wabo, does that offend you at a certain level?
No, and you know what? A high fucking five to Sammy. Like he brought that shit before anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, that was what, the first celebrity
Guy is
alcohol,
he is not a Van Hagar guy.
Are you a Van Halen guy? Please tell me. Just lie to me and say yes.
But it was better with David.
Of course it was.
That's where
Thank you.
New York City, the finance capital of the world. It has more ambition than one tiny island can handle.
And it's not a bad place to get a bite to eat either. For 3 decades, we've made it here on the markets, calling our shots, and always speaking our minds. But the best conversations happen across the table. So pull up a chair while we break bread with founders, CEOs, and creators, all in the iconic spots that define the greatest city on earth. This is Standing Table.
Presented by Apex FinTech Solutions.
Today, we're in the East Village having ourselves some teenies and weenies. Let me explain. Inside Crift Dogs, through a secret phone booth entrance, we find Please Don't Tell, one of the most iconic cocktail bars in New York City.
This speakeasy earned the title of World's Best Bar in 2011 and was the first ever James Beard Award winner for Outstanding Bar Program in 2012. With secret doors, world-class cocktails, and some of the wildest hot dog collaborations you've ever seen, you can't keep a place like this secret for long. Proving once again that people do, in fact, tell.
PDT is currently run by award-winning bartender Jeff Bell. Jeff started as a bar back in 2010, and he now owns the place. How about that?
He joins us alongside Richard Betts, one of the leading voices in wine and spirits. There are fewer than 300 Master Sommeliers in the entire world, and Richard was one of them.
If that wasn't impressive enough, he's also built some of the most distinctive brands in the industry, including Sombra Mezcal, Astral Tequila, and most recently, Tequila Komos.
All right, we're gonna have a little fun here because Guy needs to hear about the business of speakeasies and luxury tequila because he's just still stuck on brown water on the rock. Are you neat? Are you neat? Or are you on
I'm
the
brown water on the rocks,
Okay.
but this is an amazing place. So thanks for having us, guys.
It's awesome.
When I was a kid on Sesame Street, there was this gig they did called One of These Things Is Not Like the Other.
Yeah.
Take a look at what's going on here. You got me with the tie, and you three all dressed in black. Then you're the modern version of Johnny Cash. What's going on?
You didn't get the memo about dressed down Friday?
No, I got the memo.
So, by the way, Jeff doesn't normally let people in with a suit and tie.
Nor should he.
PD.
Nor should he.
It's an equal opportunity sort of situation, but you just fucking look like a dud.
No, well, but that's my look. It's sort of my uniform.
Yeah. So, Jeff, give it to us, baby. How did you come up with this thing?
I'm not the originator of this business, so I can't take that credit, but I've been here since 2010. Crift Dogs opened in 2001 by Brian Shabaro, and then the bar opened in 2007. I started here 3 years after that and spent my time here. But all started as hot dogs, and then there was a bubble tea lounge here that went out of business.
You know bubble tea?
Yeah, I used to go to it all the time.
It's like diabetes in a cup, basically.
Too early for its time. It's having a moment now. But it went out of business. Brian figured out, he had a liquor license at Crift Dogs, and his lawyer told him if you blast a hole in the wall and open the bar and enter through Crift Dogs, you don't have to get a new liquor license. You'd have to go through the process again. And so Brian thought, I want to do a phone booth to separate the two spaces like Maxwell Smart, not even thinking about speakeasy prohibition. So there is this like accidental success to it, or it wasn't meant to be the thing that helped kick off like the speakeasy cocktail movement, but it did. And part of that is because I think there's such genuine organic nature to how it evolved from hot dogs to cocktails to now.
Makes perfect sense to me. And then what brings you here?
Oh my God! I mean, this is it. This is Mecca. You did start it.
Yeah.
Yeah. PDT really, I think, did start the Speakeasy thing in New York. I had just started a mezcal brand in 2005, so we were here when you opened, and then we met here 16 years ago now, something
About
like
that.
that.
The next table over. I was waiting tables that night, and this charming guy comes in, and I heard as a VIP that just launched this mezcal brand.
Why is he VIP? What? Give us the VIP status
Well,
here.
the VIP status is producers. That would be one. People that make products that we think are delicious and we want to make cocktails with. So that would be a good VIP. You're a VIP. Lose the tie,
And
you're
I'll
a
fast
VIP.
become one.
Yeah, but Richard, how many Master Soms used to go, through a telephone booth to get into a speakeasy sort of situation? You gotta tell Guy about that a little bit, because it is a very important part of your, the whole aura of Richard Betts.
Yeah. When I was getting into wine, it's not pre-internet, but it's very early internet. And if you wanted to learn about it, you had to get the books. Like, I had stacks of books as tall as the ceiling in here. And I did that because I need to be better at my job. There were no superstar sommeliers. Social media wasn't really a thing. And so you did it because you loved it. And I did it because I wanted to do my job well, because, I thought I was going to do environmental law, decided not to, but how do I give back? And I give back by helping people enjoy their lives, just like you. And just like you too, actually.
All right, so stop right there. How many Soms are there in the world? It's a finite number, and that number's small.
It is small. So to get through that Master Sommelier exam, the last exam, it's tough. And there are about 250 in the world today.
It's amazing. Back in the day, Dan, I used to go to Sparks.
Yeah.
I'm sure
So
you're
good.
So good.
Yeah, but
and
have
the
you seen the wine
list
list
there-
recently?
I have not been in a long time.
Decimated.
But breaks my heart.
Me too.
Is it
Me
because
too.
of expense accounts gone? You think that has something to do with it? Like the Wall Street, law firm?
I think a big thing is that a lot of their drinkers kind of aged out of it.
Yeah.
Like, you can buy why buy new wine? You can buy old wine from all these guys that collected their whole lives and then realized, oh shit, I can't drink it all. Can we say shit?
You can say whatever you want.
And the same thing that is happening in parallel is the wine has gotten so expensive, and so young people don't have a chance to taste it. They don't know what reference wines are. They don't know what good is. Okay, you say it's subjective. It's not really. There are some objective things in wine that this is actually good and this is why. And when those wines have become so expensive, people don't have a chance to try them. And that's cool that you dig it and you want to be heard. New York's a loud place, but you just don't know. And that sucks. It's not their fault. I wish they did know. I wish there was a way for people to taste these wines and then...
But you and I dine a lot together.
Yes.
You're a sniper with a wine list.
I am.
Let's talk about that, because I don't think these Soms that you're, going into the restaurant, I don't think they know what they're in for.
No, they have no idea.
Yeah.
They have no idea.
So let me ask you, when I first started in the business, it's 1986, our Wall Street business. All the old timers wanted to own a restaurant. For some reason, there was a fascination around just being a restaurateur. There was a beauty of that. There was something romantic about it.
Yeah.
How do you know, I know this is going to be successful? I think the environment, just the atmosphere, it's unbelievable.
I would say when you're creating something, if you have the mindset that you know it's going to be successful, likely might not be.
Right.
It's kind of the overconfidence or pride becomes for the fall. I think you have to have a leap of faith, you have to have excitement, and you have to feel uncomfortable that it might not land, because that means you're doing something different and you're taking a swing.
Yeah, in New York City, I think you're going to be rewarded for taking those chances. You need to create an experience that's authentic. And so, I don't know, it's kind of interesting to me, Richie, you've been all over the country, working at some really amazing places and fancy spots like Aspen and everything like that.
Caribou Club by any chance?
You don't want to work there. You just want to party there.
That place is
there you go.
unbelievable.
Yeah, you want to be in Oliver's room. That's the
That's
best
the
place.
post-work place. You used to go down there late at night in the Caribou
Yeah,
Club.
I'd finish my stuff and then, go party.
Yeah.
But the bar at the Hotel Jerome is great, too.
Yeah, J Bar's
that
great.
is
J Bar's
amazing.
great.
Anybody care about my Aspen story?
Not really.
Yeah, let's have it.
So,
What do you-
I'm going to tell my Aspen story. It's 1994, I think, and it's important for the context of the story. My then girlfriend and I went to Mezzaluna, I believe,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Après ski, that whole thing, and we're sitting there, and she says, "In that corner, that's the cast of Friends," which I had never heard of. And I'm like, okay, that's great. But we're drinking, we're going, and so we get up to leave, and one of the women at the table from the Friends group gets up to leave. And as she walks out, she's accosted by photographers. So the chivalrous person that I am, said, "Hey, wait, why don't you just leave her alone?" And she goes, "No, that's okay. Don't worry about it. I appreciate it." It was Jennifer Aniston. Of
course it was.
Now, she tells that story all the time.
By the way, I know what you were wearing on the slopes. Blue jeans.
No,
right?
no,
yes,
no,
you definitely
no.
were.
But I had my CB jacket.
Of course
I'm
you did.
old
Yeah,
school.
you actually still have that CB jacket.
I still have it. Wow. Thank you, sir.
All right, so is this your creation, Jeff?
That's nice.
Yeah, it's inspired by a friend of mine had a drink in the early 2000s called La Perla. It was almost like a Manhattan-style drink with reposado and sherry. I loved it so much, but I thought it would be really great reduced into old-fashioned style.
Yeah.
So just a little
Delicious.
bit of sherry, a little bit of pear and bitters. So it's, instead of 50-50 tequila and sherry in the original, this one's 4-1.
All right, so you create the cocktails, you produce the liquor, the tequila.
I do.
Talk to us about it. Like, I mean, I find it fascinating because I drink a lot of Komos tequila, right? And so you had done a brand prior to this.
I had.
And it was not a luxury tequila. Just describe to us a little bit. I learned this, by the way. So our good friend Joe Marchese, you know, he loved what Richard did on multiple levels. And what did he say? He said to you, he's a VC, and he's like,
Yep.
let's make the best tequila out there. We're not gonna have some douchey, like, celebrity do it or whatever.
Exactly.
And, you know, if you're gonna do in a crowded market, it is crowded, right? A luxury tequila, like, how do you do it? Like, you're backing into this in a way. You have to get somebody like Jeff who wants to use your product, right?
Yeah.
And loves your product and actually is proud to serve it here at a place like this.
So I think in the spirits industry, if you back in to what you should make, you're finished.
Yeah.
It is not going to work.
Yeah.
I think you have to work at the intersection of your enthusiasms and opportunity. And where those two curves meet, that's where you should spend your time. For example, I'm enthusiastic about a wine grape you've probably never heard of called Grenache, growing on the Baja Peninsula. Enthusiasm's like this: opportunity curve, totally flat, no one else gives a shit. They don't care, so don't do it, that's a hobby. But if, turns out I love agave spirits, again, they're uppers and I like that whole thing, and so does the rest of the world, and I have a unique point of view to bring to it, then that's a place to invest some time.
Yeah.
And so with Joe, he was actually on my rooftop in Amsterdam. This is 8 years ago now. And had just come from a wedding in Greece, had a horrible hangover, and just like, why is there no good tequila in Europe? But we thought, well, why don't we make that tequila that resonates with the world and not just with a singular thing? And so every tequila has made and marketed itself in the exact same way. It's tradition, tradition, tradition. And they try to out-tradition each other. Well, my grandfather invented it. Well, my grandfather invented it too. Well, we've been doing it for 8 generations. Like, okay, cool, but you know, you're all making kind of an iteration thing, and there are many beautiful things in there. But to think about, like, how is what we do make is ultra luxury tequila, so bottles $100 and up. Where are those bottles actually consumed? And it's very infrequently with a mariachi band.
You don't say.
Yeah. You're on a beach. If we're really lucky, we're on a boat or a day club or a nightclub or a great bar like this one. So the making and messaging has historically been here, but the consumption is way over here. And so for us, it's like, let's align these two things. And that's where, for me as a former winemaker, can bring the winemaking expertise to the tequila making and make new things. So it's a completely different way of thinking
The
about it.
product is obviously the most important. How important is the bottle, the look?
That is extremely important. So what you walk into a store, what catches your eye? Why are you going to pick that up, right? And so that first impression is a thing. And if they buy it once, well, you've made a sale. If they take it home and they drink it, and so now I've delivered on the actual promise, and they buy it twice, well, you have a customer, right? And then they start recommending it, which is the third step, and then you have a brand, right? And so you have to think about all those things, and I think those things are best addressed when you do things that you care about.
All right, Richard and Jeff, when we met, it was kind of Fat Dan. You remember that? This was
what?
Fat Dan. This was pre-Ozempic Dan. Okay?
What is it now?
I mean, like, I'm pretty tight here, okay? Like, you guys can figure that out, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's one of the aspects that people keep talking about. And the other one is, like, post-pandemic, you know, the kids aren't drinking, like, forget the GLP-1s.
Yep.
And then, in general, you know, like, spirits are just down for whatever reason. Like, talk about the business. I don't know what's going on here because I keep reading that, and I know that, like, there's demand for great cocktails. There's demand for great, you know, like I don't know, tequila in general. Like, where's the disconnect right here?
Yeah, I mean, I think there are things that we know for certain, and there are things that we're all just kind of poking at. So is Gen Z really not drinking?
Yeah.
Maybe, maybe not. The Financial Times reported a few weeks ago that they actually are beginning to drink because they figured out a different way to organize their life.
Yeah.
Like, okay, maybe I'm not going to buy a house. Maybe I'm not going to do this,
Right.
but I am going to, like, you know, check out PDT, for example. I love that. I hope that happens. But in terms of the general slowdown, we can see that, yes, less alcohol is consumed, but on the total, people are drinking less. People are drinking better.
Yeah.
So for a guy like me, this is great news. Like, I make nice stuff.
All right, so how many distributors are there globally? And so like some of these, the guy and I look at the stocks. I mean, some of these things, they're not doing particularly well because of those
they're like at
narratives.
all-time low.
Yeah, and so talk to us, because we look at it and give us a sense of like, is it rebounding? Like, are we going to see Diageo? We're going to see some of these like.
I would imagine
stocks.
you see like consolidation of more of the premium brands at the top, and say you look at like with the food pyramid that has that big section at the bottom. I feel like that part's kind of falling out of those companies, and some of the big companies you've never heard of are kind of run by those like bottles you see you've never heard of on the bottom shelf, and that value drinker is going away a little bit. And I don't see a dip really from an operations perspective. Sales going down because we serve nice products, a premium experience.
The experience is a big part of it, isn't it?
Yeah, but some people are drinking less, but they're also drinking better. Like Richard just said, is the people want something good. And what I appreciate about people that are 15, 20 years younger than me are way more thoughtful about what they consume than I did at 20 years old. Like, I was drinking my face off.
Yeah.
And a lot of people in the early 20s aren't doing that the same way. But they're coming to a bar like PDT, and I would have never come to a bar like PDT when I was 21. I would have been at the dive bar down the corner just like...
Which, by the way, I still love a dive bar.
me too.
No, don't mind. Don't get me wrong, but it's just there's a shift of like how people are approaching it, which I think is also good for me as a operator of nice places.
Right. So Guy and I are always trying to figure out, like there's that Peter Lynch sort of investing, right? Is luxury the place, to be right now? If you were like to do it all over again, where do you think the best opportunity is to like make money doing it?
Being authentic in some way or another. That doesn't mean necessarily doing it the way it's always been done. Like, respect the history, but don't be bound by tradition. And I think that the authenticity is an absolutely essential ingredient.
When you see like a Sammy Hagar years ago, Cabo Wabo, does that offend you at a certain level?
No, and you know what? A high fucking five to Sammy. Like, he brought that shit before anybody. I mean, that was what, the first celebrity alcohol,
he is not a Van Hagar guy.
Are you a Van Halen guy? Please tell me. Just lie to me and say yes.
But it was better with David.
Of course it was.
That's where
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
When you think about it, like, you could have had a much cheaper bottle, right? Talk about, like, I know that you did economics. That's something like we spent a lot of talking about that. But like, for instance, how do you think about profitability?
For me, and I think it's a rule of thumb. Like, if you don't do better than 50% gross profit, you're not going to make it out the door, because the rest of it's going to get chewed up on everything else that you do. So if it's under 50, bad news bears.
All right, how do you price it though? Because like, again, a luxury bottle is above $100, right? Sometimes they're charging $50, $60 a pour. That's great for you. It kind of sucks for you though, huh? Ish?
Yeah.
But the more people who want it though.
The way I think about it from an operations perspective of selling it on the other side is that I have a diminishing profit margin when it comes to the more premium something is. I don't know what they make on a Ferrari or what they make on a Dodge, but I guarantee you the margin is bigger on a Dodge.
So it is volume, and that's a whole different game, and that sucks in the alcohol business, frankly. Like, I could make the same amount of money selling a $50 bottle of tequila, but I'd have to sell 3 times as many, and that's so hard and so expensive. But when you're talking about making more money on the Dodge, is it a percentage or is it actual dollars? And that's the thing I really freaked out about with my accountant at the Little Nell, and Vic Kungley was his name. Vic would always say, like, dude, you only hit 50% wine costs. And I was like, yeah, I opened one bottle last night that was $36,000 and 1 cork.
1 bottle.
And you just made 18 grand in free money. Like Vic, you're thinking about this the wrong way. Vic.
Yeah,
like,
that's the point I was getting to. I will market to a price that's more approachable. Like, I will treat something that is a normal house cocktail in like a 15 to 20% cost of goods, right? Something that's as premium like Komos, I'm gonna go to like 30, 40, 50% because I want people to buy it and move, because okay, this drink might have a 50% margin, but a standard house cocktail you might make a better percentage that looks good for your bookkeeping team. But the method of making it and bringing it to the table, you're making more per on a Komos drink, even though that like on its face the percentages don't look as healthy.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with that, and it gets people to drink more of it. And
by the way, you're not really drinking that drink.
Oh, no,
I mean, like, can we get after it a little bit?
I still have to work the rest of the day.
Salud.
I don't live this luxury life of walking around filling places, dude.
right, here's a question. The kids today, they love taking pictures of their shit.
Yeah, the camera
Drives me crazy.
The camera eats and
like
drinks
at the
first.
table and this and that or whatever. Like, is there a lot of that going? All right, so here's the question. It helps on the Instagram when the kids put it up there because it's like, like aspirational and stuff like that. Two ways to think about it. Living in New York, I've been here for 30 years. And I feel like we deserve to have access to like cool things like PDT and Mixteca opens or whatever. Yeah. But as soon as the kids get on it with the Instagram, there's like lines out the door. Yeah. Now that's great for a business owner, but it sucks for the people around them.
I think it's a double-edged sword. I mean, you see sometimes places have that virality of the moment, and then it goes away. And if you have that be the focal point of, this thing I'm gonna make has to be well received by Instagram, has to be very, Instagrammable or whatever, your emphasis is on the wrong thing. Yeah. You're focusing on like, maybe what you're putting on the siding instead of your foundation of your house. So I think it's important to acknowledge that it exists, but to cater to it, to me, feels like a House of Cards moment. Yeah. So you want to make pretty drinks, a nice garnish, and have decent, good lighting. So you don't want to shoot yourself in the foot, but I also think you don't want to chase. So you got to go, and hopefully that success, that profit, that money follows you, and you do the thing that you're proud of. I also love that you called it the Instagram. I think that
That's what guy calls it, the Instagram. Well, he still calls what, on our
type
show.
In the Facebook?
We talk about, the Mag 7, like the 7 stocks or whatever. Guy, for whatever reason, 4 years ago, Facebook changed their name full on to Meta. Yep. And the ticker went from FB to META. Pretty good, right? Good. Guy, I don't think you've ever called it Meta. We've done hundreds of podcasts. We've done hundreds of TV shows
what about
together.
Twitter? Is it still Twitter? Yeah.
Of course it is.
Oh, yeah.
Remember the Coming to America?
Yeah.
Remember the scene? His mama called him Clay, I'm gonna call him Clay. I mean, that's me with Facebook.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not, come on.
That's kind of
I'm old school.
All right, I'm with you on that 100%.
Thank you.
All right, so you said that Europe hadn't gotten luxury tequila yet. Right. You guys, over the last 5 years, have launched the Tequila Komos in all over the world. But what are you seeing globally demand for this sort of luxury product?
Well, a few things. I think one of them, if you think about the people that actually live in these places, they want to know. The world is ever more connected. For all the bad parts of social media, there are good things too, and people are curious, and so they want to try things. But I think even more importantly, the actual seed, why did the French or the Greeks start drinking fancy tequila, is largely because of the Americans, right? So you go to Saint-Tropez, you go to Mykonos, you're building memories. Let's just say this. Let's say you're a Macallan drink. You get on the plane tonight, you fly to Charles de Gaulle, you go to the Maurice, you check in, and you go to the bar. Do you start drinking pastis? No.
Or do you stay with?
You drink Macallan. It makes
you dance with the girl you brought to the prom, baby.
Exactly. And so that's the thing. So yeah, they're going to.
When in Rome, you and I were just talking about Harry's Bar in Venice. What do you drink there? You drink a Bellini.
One, to do the thing, and then you get into it. I drink one every time I'm in a Cipriani joint.
Thank you.
But just one.
Right.
Just one, and then I drink other things.
Yeah.
We were just saying, this is
go to Rayo.
This is really wonky. Yeah. What did you and I do this? We went to the chat GPT. What do you call it? The chat?
I don't go to the chat. Hold on one second.
It's like the speed round.
If some guy walks in here.
Oh, jeez. A guy walks into a bar, that's what you're going to do?
And starts asking the chat whatever about what. Can you throw
chat
the fuck out of here?
Oh, stop
Would you do that or no? Or is everybody welcome in your establishment?
Well, of course. He let you in.
What would get me removed other than this tie that I'm wearing?
I mean, starting with putting your hands on somebody else,
or
the kind of standard golden rule kind of things. But what I've found, which has been helpful for my success in the industry, is to kind of remove myself as part of the equation and being more of the facilitator of it. And so if I have hard and fast rules on what other people are doing, like pulling up chat GPT, or if some guy comes in and has some serious insecurity issues and gets a drink like this, says, can I get it in a manly glass?
Come on.
It's so lame, but do I need to correct that person and tell them that their whole...
Of course you can, Fritz.
There's moments. But as a New Yorker, you can feel it out when the person that can take it.
All right, really quick, first cocktail ever.
Mine?
Just for all of us.
Chilled Beefeater shot. I was 13 years old.
Okay. Chilled?
Chilled.
What about you?
Luxury.
Oh, 15. Yeah. Tanqueray 10 from a 1.75 room temp.
1.75, that's a handle.
Yeah, that's a handle.
Nice.
One gin shots. One gin shots.
Mine was a screwdriver at my sister's bar mitzvah. I was probably 11 years old. Wasn't a great fit.
No.
Cuervo Golden Squirt at probably age 11.
All right, so you talked before about like the aspirations, why you would open a business like this. It's really competitive, that sort of thing. All right, what's your tip? Like Guy Adami wants to go. He's done with CNBC. He's done podcasting with me. I'm so sick of Dan.
I wouldn't even think of it as like using the Olympics as an analogy. I would just say go to a track and without any preparation and try to run a mile at top speed and see how you feel the next day. Or that would be opening a bar without ever stepping foot in one or working one. Yeah. I would say work in every position, meaning stretch every muscle, work out every muscle so you can sprint a mile. So I would not advise anybody to ever open a restaurant that's never worked in a dish pit or any other difficult part of that. Work in the least glamorous role in a restaurant and then figure out if you want to do it.
What's your tip?
What's my tip?
You want to start a liquor brand.
You know, a friend of mine, Tim Ferriss, quoted this statistic, and I'm going to get it wrong by a percentage point or two, but it's like 92% of the world will choose unhappiness over uncertainty. And that's crazy. So you take these small doses of unhappiness until you get to the very end of your life, and you're like, woulda, coulda, shoulda, and like, how bad must that feel? One of the things that I think has made me successful in the ways I've been successful as an entrepreneur is my willingness to bang my head against the wall longer than anyone else. And it's really, that persistence is everything.
Here's to the 8%, fellas.
Yeah,
Thanks, guys.
Cheers, guys. Thanks. Standing Table is presented by Apex FinTech Solutions. Just like great restaurants need the right infrastructure behind the scenes, the world of investing needs that same foundation. Apex is that foundation. If you've ever bought a stock on your phone, there's a good chance Apex made it happen. Learn more at apexfintechsolutions.com/standing table.